Our speaker is a
This meeting is being recorded.
our speaker is a dedicated educator and legal practitioner. She graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Benguet State University and later earned a master's degree in education. And with 7 years of experience in academia, she has served as a teacher, English as a second language instructor, associate professor, and program head at King's College of the Philippines. She pursued her legal studies at Cordillera Career Development College, earning her Bachelor of Laws degree in 2018. Currently, she is completing her Masters of Law at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. With over 4 years of experience as a paralegal at the Department of Agrarian Reform, she specialized in land transfer cases, land use conversion, and legal aid. Apart from her government role, she is also engaged in private practice under Balanban Law and Notarial Services, where she also, of course, provide legal counsel and notarial services. She is a strong advocate of alternative dispute resolution, aiming to foster peaceful and just resolutions to conflicts. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have a virtual round of applause to attorney Wendelin T. Balanban. Ayan. Hi, Ma'am. Hi, attorney. Welcome po to Adal Cordillera.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Clear ba yung audio ko?
Yes po, attorney.
Ayan, so thank you very much for that heartwarming introduction and also of course for the privilege to be with you this time. So we have 2 hours only to discuss three topics. Sabi ko nga kay Miss Jessica, I think 2 hours is not enough for us to finish all the topics kasi yung employment pa lang, labor laws and employment, that's a long discussion. And even harassment and discrimination is also a long topic because there will be a lot of laws that will be governing those areas. But anyway, we will make the most of our 2 hour. We will make it very fruitful and meaningful. So I hope na maging active po tayo sa ating webinar because the success of our webinar does not only depend on us and the host, but it mainly depends on our participants. Okay ba yun? So most of you, naka-turn off yung camera niyo, but it's okay. It's fine with me. But I hope that you are attentively listening. Okay, so if you are ready, guys, comment naman sa ating comment section or make a thumbs up or a heart reaction so that I'll know that you are there. Kasi dito sa ating participants, we have 81. Ayan, good afternoon, Miss Maria Geraldine. Hello kay Lizette Espacio. Ayan, so para makarami tayo, let's start. Share ko lang yung aking screen, okay? I'll just be sharing my screen. Bakit ayaw na? Ayan, so let's... Wait lang ha, magulo yung aking desktop. Alright, nakikita nyo na ba yung aking PowerPoint presentation?
Yes po.
Alright, okay. So again, our topics will be labor laws, particularly on employment relations, harassment, and discrimination. Sabi nga na kanina ng ating host na si Bernie, no, maybe some of you experience harassment and discrimination in your workplaces, but I hope that through this webinar, we'll be able to address some of your concerns. All right? And I also know or I was informed na yung mga natin, no, participants natin today are both from the public or the government and the private sector. But for labor laws kasi, this usually governs employment in the private sector because they are governed by the labor code that we are following. Sa government kasi may iba rin tayong rules, di ba, na pinaprescribe ng Civil Service Commission. So for this afternoon, we will be talking more about the labor code. But don't worry, for harassment and discrimination topics, it will cover both the private and the government sector. All right. So for our learning points, at the end of this discussion, I hope that we'll be able to accomplish these three. First one, for us to be able to understand the key concepts of employment, particularly the employer and employment relation, harassment and discrimination in the workplace, and for you to identify various types of workplace harassment, ano nga ba ang mga ito, and discrimination, and learn how to properly address them. And finally, learn the legal frameworks protecting employees. All right. So, from your end naman, ano yung expectation nyo? Let's maximize our chat. Ano yung expectation nyo from this webinar? Why did you join this webinar? Can you chat your comments doon sa ating comment section so I can see yung mga expectations natin from this webinar? Wala pa. Nakikinig ba sila? Ayun. To know more about how to properly address concerns about labor laws. Okay. Meron pa ba? Wala na? Okay, anyway, you can chat while ongoing yung ating webinar, no? Then we'll just backread later. Especially if you have questions, we will get back to them later on. Especially kung mayroon daw heated concern about harassment, anong gagawin natin? How will we handle that? Okay, to learn employment's right, yes, we will tackle that later. How to make sure my rights will be respected, yes, that will also be partly covered. And would like to expand my knowledge in labor laws and due process. Okay, yes, we will talk about due process later on. The proper drafting of a complaint or report and where to address it. Siguro yung proper drafting will not be touching that, but where the proper venue for you to file it, we can touch that a little. To be more aware of the rights of employees, yes. Labor laws in the private sector, yes, we'll touch that also. To explore the types of workplace harassment, to properly determine and address them in the workplace, yes, that would be one of our topic. And how to respond politely, nakakatuwa, no? How to respond politely, yes, especially if there's already a conflict, no? Can we still be polite? Okay, conditions of employment. Oh, sabi ni Miss Balaguer, I'm a student po right now and I want to know more about my legal right in case mag-work na po ako after my graduation. Okay. Yes, okay. You are at the right venue or forum. How to sue your employer if they're shouting at you. Okay, susuba natin sila agad-agad. Okay? All right. So, okay. So, ang dami nating mga topics na gustong sagutin pala. So, I hope that we'll be able to answer, if not all of them, but most of them after our webinar. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so our uh, employment and even the employer is governed by our constitution. So sabi niya, the state shall afford full protection to labor, that is us, local and overseas, organized and unorganized, and promote the full employment and equal employment opportunities for all. So our constitution provides that the state will protect us from any unjust or unjust work conditions, harassment, or any form of discrimination from our employers. But the state also recognizes that there are also certain rights of the employer that needs to be protected. Hindi naman pwede na ang dami-daming rights afforded to the employee and wala sa employer. Actually, the purpose or the goal of labor laws is to put both the employer and the employee at an equal footing. Okay, so they are both protected by labor code or labor laws. So hindi lang siya pro-labor. Although, sabi ng code, the labor code should be strictly construed in favor of labor, it also recognizes that there are certain rights of the employer that needs to be protected and considered. Ayan. So that's the Constitution. We also have the labor code provisions on conditions of employment. But I think conditions of employment will be discussed sa ating susunod na webinar next Saturday. So don't miss that opportunity also to learn about your labor conditions or conditions of employment under Book 2 of the Labor Code. And of course, we will also discuss post-employment. This covers the rules on termination of employment. And gaya ng sabi nyo kanina, you want to know about due process requirements. Ayan. So for us to be able to understand better our employment, we need to discuss ano ba itong employer-employee relationship. Because if we understand the meaning of employer-employee relationship, then we will be able to determine ano ba yung rights natin as an employee, ano yung obligations natin, at the same time, the rights and obligations of our employer. So the court has been very consistent in saying na malalaman natin if there's an employer-employee relationship using the fourfold test. So gagamitin tayo natin ito. So ano yung fourfold test? So para malaman natin kung mayroong employer-employee relationship, kailangan nating tignan yung pauna. Yung employer ba, is he or she engaged in the selection and engagement of employee? Sila ba yung may authority to hire? Number two, payment of wages. Yung employer ba ang nagbabayad ng wages mo? Kasi kung hindi, baka walang employer-employee relationship doon. Number three, who has the power of dismissal? In case merong kang misconduct or there are just causes to terminate your employment, sino yung authorized to terminate your employment? Is it your employer? And then, finally, number four, this is the most important test, the control test. So your employer has the right to control not only the results of the work, but also the means and methods by which your work is accomplished. So ito yung pinaka-importante kasi pwedeng present lahat yung 1, 2, and 3 pero nawawala yung control test because there are different kinds of employment that we will discuss later. Okay. So how do we establish employer-employee relationship? Kailangan muna nating alamin kung ano ba yung klase ng employment natin. So pinaka-common of course yung regular employment. Kumbaga sa government, 'di ba? If you're already a permanent employee, then you are a regular employee. So sa labor code naman, sinasabi niya you are deemed a regular employee if you are engaged in the activities necessary or desirable. Yan yung clue natin dyan, activities that are necessary and desirable to the usual business or trade of the business. So yung mga functions na pinaperform mo ay necessary at desirable para mag-thrive yung business ng employer mo. And you have rendered at least 6 months of continuous service unless the nature of the work is seasonal or project-based. Kasi meron ding mga regular na seasonal employees. Seasonal in the sense na magtatrabaho lang sila like so for a certain period during the year na kailangan sila. Halimbawa, peak season sa isang restaurant during Decembers, doon lang sila magpapasok hanggang January, for example. But because of their continuous employment with the employer, they are considered to be regular seasonal employees. Okay. Next, probationary employment. Alam niyo naman yung mga probationary employees, no? Siguro naging probationary din kayo at a certain point in your employment. So if your status is probationary, 'di ba? Meron kang 6 months to perform. Kapag ka na-meet mo yung mga standards set by your employer during that 6-month period, your status can be elevated from probationary to regular employee. So during probation, you must meet the reasonable standards set by your employer. So kailangan, kapag ka na-engage ka in a probationary employment, merong standard of performance that you need to meet na kailangan ipakita sa'yo ng employer mo. So for example, if nasa sales ka, ito yung sales quota na kailangan mong ma-meet every month. Sinasabi niya sa'yo yan at nire-rate ka yan. Kasi ang purpose ng rating na yan is, for example, after a period of 6 months, yung rating mo hindi na-meet yung standard. That can be a valid ground for your employment to be terminated. So hindi ka na magiging regular employee. Okay? But if you are terminated during the probational period, your employer must still provide you the just or authorized causes. Halimbawa, within the 6 months, no, meron kang siguro tardiness. Kailangan ka pa rin niyang i-provide ng procedural due process. Hindi ka niya pwedeng basta-bastang tanggalin. You are still afforded the right to due process, which we will discuss later on. Pero if after 6 months, hindi mo talaga na-meet yung standard set by your employer at hindi ka niya ni-renew or ginawang regular employee, then wala ka nang magagawa doon. Ayan, project-based and fixed-term employment naman, ito yung mga after the project, tapos na yung relations nyo. 'Di ba? So walang employer-employee relationship dito ha kasi project-based 'yon. Like for example, magpapakonstruct ka ng bahay. Kukuha ka ng contractor. Si contractor maghahanap siya ng mga laborer na gagawa ng bahay mo. So after the project, pag natapos na yung bahay mo, tapos na yung trabaho. Walang employer-employee relationship doon. And of course, number four, independent contractors. So independent contractors do not have an employer-employee relationship because the hiring party controls only the result, not the means or methods. So sa independent contracting agreement kasi, meron tayong tinatawag na principal, meron din tayo yung independent contractor, and the contract workers. So may tatlong parties involved dito. So for example, si company A, dahil malaki yung company niya, maghahanap siya ng janitorial services kasi kailangan malinis yung kanyang work environment. So, i-contract out niya for example, si JJ Janitorials. Itong si JJ Janitorial, siya yung independent contractor, siya naman yung maghahanap ng mga utility provider or yung mga janitors niya na magpo-provide ng janitorial services kay Company Y. Okay? So may tatlo dyan. So yung principal na si Company Y, hindi niya employer si JJ Janitorial Services. Lalong hindi niya employee si laborers na inire ni JJ Janitorial Services. So wala silang employer-employee relationship. Okay? So it's very important for us to establish the employer-employee relationship kasi later on makikita natin ano ba yung mga obligations kapag ka mayroong employer-employee relationship. Ano yung obligations ng employer sa isang empleyado? So to illustrate further, I'm not sure if nabasa nyo ito, no? In 2021, I believe 2021, na-decide na yung case ni Mel Chanco. You know Mel Chanco, the news anchor ng GMA? Diba? So, Mel Chanco was employed by ABS-CBN as a talent newscaster. In 1980s pa siya na-employ eh. But in 1995, ABS-CBN released a memorandum prohibiting their talent newscaster to appear in any commercial advertisements. Pero itong si Mel Chanco, siguro, syempre, opportunity, no? Nagkaroon siya ng advertisement with Tide, yung panglaba. Alam niyo ba? Or do you remember yung commercial niya na yon? And because of that, she was suspended for 3 months without pay. Kasi na-violate niya yung memorandum na yon. Kasi naging company policy siya eh. Anong ginawa ni Mel Chanco? Nag-file siya ng case sa Department of Labor and Employment sa DOLE. Sabi niya, I was legally terminated and I was suspended, legally suspended. But in the end, anong sabi ng Supreme Court? Applying the control test, sabi niya, Mel Chanco, you are an independent contractor because you perform work according to your own manner and method free from the principal's control. So you have the unique skill, high talent fees, and ability to negotiate your contract terms supported by the status as an independent contractor. So dito na-establish na walang employer-employee relationship. So yung kanyang clinic claim na damages with back wages ay hindi binigay ng court. Although in the end, nagkaroon sila ng partial settlement on the matter. So, ganun din kay Sonsa. Si Jay Sonsa, kilala nyo din siya. Similar case with Mel Chanco. Okay? Ayan. So, let's talk about the employer and employee relations or rights and obligations naman. Kasi kanina, di ba, sabi nyo gusto yung malaman, ano ba yung rights and obligations nyo as an employee? So, unahin natin yung employer's rights. Siyempre, they have the right to manage and operate their business in accordance with law. O kailangan sinusunod nila yung labor standard or then yung labor laws. Okay? To impose reasonable disciplinary measures, including termination subject to due process. Again, they can terminate, but they must observe the due process. And to hire employees and determine qualifications. 'Di ba? Sila yung nagpo-post ng mga qualifications of their workers. Ano yung mga qualifications if they will be hiring a bookkeeper, an accountant. Sila yung nagde-determine yan. Okay. So ano naman yung kanilang obligation? So yun yung rights nila, ha? Yung obligation nila, of course, to pay your wages. Bayaran yung sweldo ng kanilang empleyado. To observe due process in termination. So hindi basta-basta na kasi ayaw mo na yung pagmumukha or ugali ng empleyado mo ita-terminate mo na yung kanyang contract or employment. Hindi pwede yon. So maraming mga cases na naging liable sa illegal dismissal or constructive dismissal yung mga employer, and they were um, subject to damages wherein they paid the back wages of their illegally dismissed employees. Okay? And damages, they paid that kasi hindi nila inobserve yung due process. Compliance with labor standards. Labor standards kasi, yung labor laws kasi natin, yan yung nag-prescribe ng minimum standards on employment. O for example, ano yung minimum wage, ano yung number of work hours. So, those are the minimum labor standards. Paano kung gusto ni employer na taasan yung sweldo, yung minimum wage? Pwede. Basta hindi siya pwedeng bumaba doon sa labor standards prescribed by the labor code kasi that is the minimum standard that should be complied with by the employer. And the remittance of contributions. Diba? If you are a regular employee, your employer will be remitting your SSS contributions, pag-ibig contributions, ano pa, PhilHealth contributions. And they will be withholding your taxes from your salary. And so those are their obligations. Ngayon, ano naman yung right natin as employees, di ba? We have the right to security of tenure. If we are regular employees, hindi pwedeng basta-bastang tanggalin tayo sa ating trabaho. Kasi nga, we have the security of tenure. Fair compensation, of course. Dapat bayaran yung tamang sahod natin. Ayaw naman natin na underpaid tayo, di ba? Or if in case nag-overtime tayo, dapat bayaran din tayo ng overtime pay. And safe working conditions. So, they must also provide us safe working conditions kasi kung hazardous nga naman yung working environment natin, di nakakatakot, ma-endanger pa yung ating safety and security. And we also have our union rights and the right to collective bargaining. So we can negotiate with our employer in terms of our employment. And we also have the right to join a union. Hindi ko alam sa mga private companies natin dito, may mga union ba kayo sa inyong mga companies? O kasi kaya hindi pwedeng ipagbawal ng employer ang pagsali sa union, ha? Sa union. Sa mga malalaking companies, meron silang union kasi. So, the union is the lobbying agent of the employees, no? When it comes to negotiating their employment rights. Okay. So for our obligations as employees, ano naman yan? Siyempre, hindi pwedeng puro rights lang, di ba? Kawawa naman yung ating employer kung wala tayong obligations din na i-observe. So una dyan is to perform assigned task efficiently and in good faith. Efficiently and in good faith. Hindi pwedeng hindi ka efficient, underperforming ka sa workplace mo. And abide by company policies, rules, and regulations. Lahat yata ng companies, even government sectors, they have their internal policies and rules when it comes to the delivering of their functions. And refrain from engaging in acts that cause harm or prejudice to the employer's business. So hindi pwede rin na dahil mahilig kang mag-social media, no? Meron ka lang na experience na hindi maganda sa work place mo, sinishare mo na sa social media to the prejudice of your employer's business, di ba? Sinisiraan mo. Sabi nga nila, do not bite the hand of the one that feeds you. So, wag mo daw sisiraan yung employer mo. Ayan. So after knowing those rights and obligations, let's proceed to determination of employment. So meron tayong two categories of causes na pwedeng gamitin, causes or grounds na pwedeng gamitin ng employer in terminating our employment. Una dyan is the just causes, and the second one is the authorized causes. Yung just causes, these are acts or behavior attributed to the employee. So mayroong nagawa si employee kaya na detrimental to the employer or to the business of the employer, kaya siya tina-terminate. Pero yung authorized causes, this is not attributed to the acts of the employee, but it is provided by law na pwede siyang reason for the termination of an employment. So inahin natin tong just causes. Serious misconduct. Serious, sabi niya, serious misconduct. So serious, dapat grave yung offense. Hindi lang siya minor misdemeanor. It must be serious and it must be in relation to the performance of one's duty. The Supreme Court also held pala na if an employee committed sexual harassment in the workplace, that is considered a serious misconduct. Ano naman yung willful disobedience of lawful orders? O may pinapagawa sa iyo yung employer mo or yung boss mo. Ayaw mong gawin kasi tinatamad ka. Lawful naman yung order pero ayaw mo. That is willful disobedience. Pwede ka bang ma-terminate? Yes, that is one ground for the termination of your employment, provided you will be accorded the due process of law. Number 3 naman, gross and habitual neglect of duties. So gross, okay, and habitual. So dapat paulit-ulit siya, it's repetitive. Despite na kinol ka or winarningan ka, ginagawa mo pa rin. 'Di ba? For example, ikaw ay isang inventory agent. Ina-inventory mo yung mga pumapasok na goods sa company. Laging mali-mali yung mga ini-enter mong number. So, nagkakaroon ng discrepancy doon sa reports that cause prejudice to your employer. Diba? Paulit-ulit, winarningan ka, ginawa mo pa rin. That is gross and habitual neglect of duty. And fraud or breach of trust. Breach of trust, siguro kasi you're a bank employee, for example, tapos nagre-release ka ng mga blank checks, alam mong bawal yun. That can be fraud or breach of trust. And that could also be a reason for your employment to be terminated. But again, subject to the due process pa rin yung mga yan. And number 5, the commission of a crime against the employer or co-employees. So, ninakawan mo siya, for example, or you committed sexual harassment. So, commission of a crime against the employer or co-employees can also be a ground for the termination of your employment. Ayan. And ano pa? Yan, yung sinabi natin, authorized causes, these are not because of the actions or behavior of the employee, but because this is provided by law. Number 1, redundancy. Na-realize ng employer mo na, bakit tatlo ang accountant ko? Isa lang naman ang kailangan ko. So, to save the company from additional business losses, kailangan niyang mag-terminate ng employment ng yung dalawa or isang accountant. Okay? Para makasave din siya ng resources. Number 2, retrenchment. Retrenchment, ito naman yung pag-reduce mo ng number of employees mo by reason of company losses and as a cost-cutting measure. Di ba there are instances, lalo na nung pandemic, maraming na-retrench Nagbawas ng mga employee talaga yung mga employers because, yun nga, marami ng company losses because of the pandemic. So, valid ground ba yan for the termination of contract or employment? Yes, it is a valid ground. Closure or cessation of business. Nalugi na yung business, so magsasara na siya. That is also a valid ground to terminate the employment and disease or incapacity rendering the employee unfit to work. Halimbawa, na-aksidente siya, hindi na niya ma-perform yung kanyang trabaho. That is also a ground for the termination of contract. And also, if you contracted a disease that will really incapacitate you or make you unfit to work, that is also a valid ground for the termination of your contract. Magkaiba lang yung process dito on how to terminate the employment of an employee. Doon sa una, for the just causes, acts attributed to the employee's actions or behavior, dito natin susundan yung due process. na i-discuss natin mamaya. Dito naman sa authorized causes, yung kailangan lang na sundin ng employer is to give a 30-day notice to the employee that will be terminated. So 30 days before mag-cease yung kanyang employment. Siyempre, bigyan mo din siya naman ng opportunity or time to look for another employment. So 1 month yan, 30 days. And also, bibigyan din niya din ng notice ang DOLE. For example, magre-retrench siya. Ayan, furnish niya ng copy si DOLE, and at the same time, the employee that will be affected with the retrenchment. And of course, bibigyan niya siya ng separation pay. Ayan. Okay, so ito na yung mas exciting, no? Ito yung marami yatang gustong malaman. Ano ba yung procedural due process na yan? So, ito yung tinatawag nating twin notice rule and a hearing. Bakit siya twin notice? Kasi yung first notice, bibigay mo sa employee to tell him or her the acts or the offenses that he committed kung bakit mataterminate ang kanyang employment. It should be in writing, and nadagdag mo dyan, ano yung grounds for the termination. Also, for example, um, a notice is hereby given to you to explain kung totoo ba lahat ng mga pinaparatang sa'yo na ganito, nagnakaw ka daw ng mga company properties, etc., etc. That's the first notice. And you will give the employee ample time, sufficient time to be heard or to respond to that charge. Pwedeng in writing, or you can set a meeting for the hearing. And yung second notice is you should give that employee a written decision of the result ng kanyang hearing or ng kanyang response. Based sa kanyang response or based sa hearing ninyo, ano yung decision nyo? Mataterminate ba siya? Masususpend ba siya? Ano yung mangyayari? Kasi yung iba, no, hindi nila na-observe. It's either yung notice of decision. Nag-start lang siya sa notice of charge and then hearing and then wala na. That's still a violation of the procedural due process. So dito naman sa period, ilan ba dapat yung ibibigay nating time doon sa employee to respond to the charge? Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, sufficient time. So, kung medyo grave yung offense, siguro bigyan nyo ng longer time. 5 days, gano'n siguro, no? Pero kung simple misdemeanor, maybe shorter time will do. Basta ang sabi doon, sufficient time for the employee to respond. So that is the procedural due process. It involves the substantive process, which includes yun nga, yung ano yung ground, ano yung cause ng kanyang charge or termination. Ayan. So that's the procedural due process. Ngayon, sabi natin kanina, labor laws do not only protect labor or employees, but they also recognize the employer's rights. So they also protect them. Kasi nga equal foot, 'di ba? Equally treated sila eh. Nasa equal footing sila. Hindi pwedeng mas mataas yung isa. Although most of the time, 'di ba, yung mga employees parang we are always at the disadvantage because feeling natin we are always at the mercy of our employers na kung hindi natin gagawin to or if gagawin natin to, baka ma-terminate yung employment natin. The labor code and the Supreme Court also recognized that. But they also recognize the importance of protecting the rights of the employer. So every employer has the inherent right to regulate according to his own discretion and judgment all aspects of employment. So in terms of managing their business affairs, hindi na nakikialam ang court dyan. That is the doctrine of non-interference or um, no, the business judgment rule. Sabi niyo sa business judgment rule, hindi namin pakikialaman ang decisions mo when it comes to handling your business affairs as long as you are observing the labor laws. Okay. Yes, that's almost the same. Yan. The courts often decline to interfere in legitimate business decisions of employers. Sabi niya, no? In fact, labor laws discourage interference in employers' judgment concerning the conduct of their business. Kasi nga, they also recognize na mahirap naman talagang magpatakbo ng negosyo. 'Di ba? So, in running their business affairs, the court recognized their wisdom. Kaya they also protect them from any intrusion or interference. Kaya they respect their management prerogative. So ano yung scope ng management prerogative? Okay. Hindi ito absolute ha. There may be some other scope na hindi nakasali dyan. Pero for us to have a clear picture, let's cite some examples. Hiring. Okay, that's a management prerogative. Kung gusto niya 2 years of experience, wala tayong magagawa. Work assignments. Okay, itong function na gusto niyang ipagawa sa'yo, ginusto mo naman yung contract mo. Okay. Working methods, the time, place, and manner of work. Work suspension, di ba? There are some instances, halimbawa yung mga Chinese, nag-celebrate sila ng Chinese New Year, magsasara yung kanilang um, business, pwede rin yun. For the holiday, pwede rin yun. Work supervision, transfer of employees, layoff of workers, and discipline and dismissal, and also recall. Okay? So, yan yung scope ng kanilang management prerogative. But is it absolute? Kasi nire-recognize ng court yung kanilang business judgment rule or decisions in managing their business affairs. Is it absolute? The court said hindi rin siya absolute. Because, sabi niya, management prerogative must be exercised in good faith and the due consideration of the rights of the workers must be observed. So, exercise mo siya in good faith. So, for example, magkakaroon ka ng transfer of employees or layoff of workers. Magbabawas ka ng worker mo. It should be done in good faith. Hindi lang kasi ayaw mo sila kaya tatanggalin mo, di ba? So kapag magle-lay off ka, ano yung standard mo? Paano mo ma-determine kung sino yung i-lay off mo? Di ba? Will you base it from the number of years in service? Meron kang standard, hindi lang dahil gusto mo. It must be exercised in good faith and you must also consider the rights of the workers. Okay? So, yeah, good faith and the employees' rights must be considered in exercising management prerogative. Ayan. So, natapos na tayo sa first part, ano? Mabilis ba tayo? Okay ba? Nasagot ba yung mga ilang mga katanungan nyo? I hope na nasagot natin, ano? Now, we will move on to workplace harassment. So again, let us maximize our chat box. Ano yung mga common workplace harassment na na-observe ninyo or na-experience nyo personally sa inyong mga workplaces? Okay, let's wait. Hintayin ko type kayo ng inyong mga sagot. Work dumping. Bullying. Sabi ni um, Mike Amor, bullying. I think bullying is becoming common in the workplace nowadays, no? Ano pa? Yung iba naman. Kasi ang very common talaga na mostly na kikita natin din or na-observe natin in some places lang naman. Naninigaw, yeah. Power tripping, yes, di ba? Sabi ni Princess, power tripping. Ano pa? Oh, I hope wala namang naka-experience ng sexual harassment, ano? Cursing, pagmumura. But sometimes, tignan nyo, baka yung cursing niya is only an expression. Sa mga ibang mga regions, di ba, parang normal lang kasi sa kanila magmura. Pero tayo dito sa Cordillera, parang it's a taboo, no? Kasi hindi tayo sanay. But in some regions, it's just an expression. Oh, hi! Hi, Elisha. Elisha is my student before. Kumusta ka na? Kumusta ang Buyukor? Nandito ka ba kasi maraming harassment sa workplace mo? I hope not. I'm just kidding. Oh, non-consensual touching, okay? That is considered harassment or sexual harassment. Heavy workload. Pwede bang mag-overtime, boss, pag heavy workload? Ayan. Okay, so for us to be able to see how we will address or manage this workplace harassment, let's continue. Ano ba yung mga workplace harassment? Iba-ibang klase kasi yan eh. Okay, yan. So ano daw ang workplace harassment? This refers to any unwelcome behavior based on race, religion, sex, age, disability, or other factors that create an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. So unwelcome siya, hindi mo yun gusto. Okay? Pero nagkakaroon pa rin eh, 'di ba? Kasi iba-iba nga yung personality natin. So, if this unwelcome behavior attacks your race, your religion, your sex, your age, or disability, then they can be considered workplace harassment. Kasi 'di ba, kapag ka ina-attack, for example, yung sexuality mo, yung disability mo, binubuli ka because of it, your religion, they are creating a hostile, offensive, and intimidating work environment. Have you ever felt na you're just dragging your feet to work? Yung parang wala kang joy in going to your workplace. Hindi ka masaya. Parang inisip mo lagi na, ay, papasok na naman ako, makikita ko na naman yung nambubuli sa akin. And di ba, hindi ka functional, pwede kang mag-underperform because of that feeling. So these are the things that we want to prevent or avoid kasi gusto natin masaya tayo as employees and we will be delivering our functions in fairness naman to our employer. Ang problem is, paano kung yung boss mo ang nagpa-power trip or nambubuli sa'yo, di ba? We will see later how we can address those kinds of scenarios. Okay. So harassment and intimidation can take many forms. Pwedeng verbal abuse, naninigaw, nagka-curse, nagte-threaten, or nag-joke pero offensive yung joke niya. Bullying or humiliating behavior, pinapahiya ka, binubuli ka, unreasonable pressure or demands sa trabaho, di ba? Yung sabi kanina, overworked, di ba? Dami-daming work pinapatrabaho sa'yo. Wala ka na bang additional pay? And of course, sexual harassment, which is um, prohibited by the Sexual Harassment Act. So ano yung mga pwede natin gawin or what are the laws that protects our rights against harassment? Meron yung labor code natin, di ba? They set out general provisions for the protection of employees. So they must maintain, yung ating mga employers must maintain a work-free or a work environment free from any discrimination, harassment, and intimidation. So later we will see paano kaya nila gagawin yan. How can employers maintain a work environment that is free from harassment, free from discrimination? Okay? Kasi may mga laws naman on that. O, isang law that we can cite is the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. So bawal kang halimbawa humingi ng sexual favor para i-hire mo ang isang empleyado. Ito kasing Anti-Sexual Harassment Act, di ba? It addresses sexual harassment in the workplace, educational institutions, and training environment. So, okay? So dito, di ba, sinasabi, dapat mayroon kang authority or a person or in authority or mayroon kang moral ascendancy over the victim. And because of that, sabi nila, bakit paano yun? Pwede naman na yung subordinate mo ang mangharas sa'yo, di ba? Kasi baka mas, halimbawa, in an institution, you're a professor, mas matanda yung estudyante mo, pwedeng siya naman yung mangharas sa'yo. Kaya, na-enact yung Safe Spaces Act. Kasi yon regardless of age, pwedeng maging victim and perpetrator, and regardless of rank. Even if you have lower rank, pwede kang um, makasuhan ng violation of the Safe Spaces Act. So, sa anti-sexual harassment, I hope walang naka-experience nito, no? Na yung employer sasabihan ka na, sige, para ma-promote ka or para ma-hire ka, mag-date muna tayo, gawin muna natin to. Okay? Or sa isang institution, for example, the professor sasabihan ka na, sige, para bigyan kita ng scholarship, dapat mag-date tayo sa ganito. Okay? Those are forms of sexual harassment in the workplace and in an institution. Okay? Okay, the Safe Spaces Act. also known as the bawal bastos law, di ba? It expands the protection against gender-based harassment. So pwede na, babae ka man, lalaki ka man, pwede kang maging victim or pwede kang maging perpetrator ng uh, batas na ito. This also includes online harassment kasi nagsa-cyberstalking sa'yo, di ba? Lagi kang mini-message ng mga obscene na uh, remarks. Lagi kang sinasabi, Miss, ang sexy-sexy mo naman, ang ganyan, di ba? Siguro mas maganda ka kung ganito or pag pinopost yung mga pictures mo online. Okay? So, this law applies to both the private and the public sector and even in the public and private spaces. Okay? So this law also mandates that the employers will take steps to prevent and address sexual and gender-based harassment within the workplace. So may mga internal policies tayo on this, 'di ba? Pine-prescribe na meron tayong Committee on Decorum and Investigation, 'di ba? Para mag-investigate ng mga sexual harassment incidents in the workplace. Okay? We also have the Occupational Safety and Health Standards Law na sinasabi dito na dapat yung employer mag-provide siya ng work environment free from hazards, including psychological risks such as harassment and intimidation. So employers who fail to comply with safety standards may face penalties. So yun yung mga pwedeng um, ma-charge sa isang employer if they will not observe the occupational safety and health standard law. Okay, so pwede kasi sila administrative, for example, pwedeng hindi ma-renew yung kanilang permit or license na mag-operate sa kanilang business. Pwede rin civil damages, babayad sila. Or yung iba meron ding imprisonment if they will violate the provisions of the law that we discussed earlier. Sa civil code din, pwede kang mag-file ng civil action against your employer or co-worker for damages arising from harassment or intimidation, especially if it's sexual harassment. Okay, pwede kang bayaran ng danyos dyan. Ngayon, anong gagawin mo? 'Di ba? If you want to file an action kasi you're a victim of any form of harassment, ano yung gagawin mo? First, pwede kang mag-initiate ng labor complaint. Ito yung i-file mo sa DOLE. But I encourage na you first exhaust yung mga company or internal remedies available to you. Kasi may mga company policies naman tayo governing our rights on harassment. So, pwede ang internal complaint doon sa inyong HR muna. It's good if it will be addressed internally. Pero kung hindi, that's the time that you will file a labor complaint before the DOLE. Kasi dito, especially nga naman kapag kayong employer mo, di ba, yung nanghaharas sa'yo, alangan mag-file ka kay HR, baka takot din si HR sa employer niya. And the HR usually on a neutral ground kasi ayaw nila na masaktan yung employer nila kasi siya yung employer niya. And ayaw din naman nila na ma-hurt yung kanilang mga employee. So, I understand na yung sa ating mga HR talaga, they will be referring the case to DOLE na lang para hindi rin sila maipit sa mga nagkikis-kisang mga bato. Okay, so a labor complaint. Ano pa? A civil or criminal action o ayaw mo ng labor case kasi feeling mo mas gusto mo mag-file sa regular codes. For example, um, hinipuan ka, ba? And you find it as a lascivious conduct, pwede kang mag-file ng acts of lasciviousness and ask for damages from the regular courts. Okay? Okay, so ano yung responsibilities ng mga employer natin? Para hindi natin ma-experience or para magkaroon tayo ng work environment na free from harassment and intimidation, ito yung una. Implement a comprehensive anti-harassment policies which include bullying prevention. Yan talaga yung pinaka-importante kasi yung company policies natin, yun yung pinaka-bible natin sa workplace natin, tama? So kung hindi comprehensive yung policies ninyo on bullying and harassment, then mahihirapan talaga kayo to implement sanctions doon sa mga bully na mga employees or employers nyo. Next, establishing a clear procedure for reporting bullying or harassment incidents. So dapat meron din kayong procedure. Ano yung dapat nyong sundin? Saan kayo magfa-file? Sa grievance ba? Sa CODI ba? So dapat nakalate din yung procedures nyo doon. And ensure a prompt investigation and resolution of complaints. Hindi yung ina-accept nyo lang siya, tapos binabaliwala nyo naman. So this will discourage your employees to file their case kung wala kayong action. And protect employees from retaliation when they report bullying. Huwag nyo namang pagchismisan na nag-file si ganito ng harassment case. O, di ba? Eh di siya, file niya si ganitong empleyado. Eh di magkakaroon na ng hidwaan sa mga parties na yon. So you should be protecting the employees from any repercussions when they file a harassment case. And lastly, take appropriate disciplinary action. So dapat if you have policies, there should also be sanctions. So for example, if one is found to be liable of harassment, ano yung penalty niya? Masususpend ba siya? Mamumulta ba siya? May fine ba? Kasi kung wala, edi parang walang ngipin yung policy natin. So there should be penalties included in your policies. Like first offense, sige, warning. Mag-show cause memo muna tayo. Let the party explain his or her side. Bakit niya nagawa yon? Pero pag ginawa niya again for the second time, naku, suspension na yan ng 1 month. O, yung mga ganong mga um, precautionary measures or penalty. Para naman may ngipin yung policy. Kasi kung wala, edi they will just commit it all over again kasi wala namang nangyayari, di ba? Okay. May natutunan ba tayo doon? No? Thumbs up naman kayo dyan if may takeaway tayo from this. Okay. Alright. Okay, ayun, natapos na natin ang harassment. Finally, we will be talking about the discrimination naman in the workplace. Okay? So ano-ano yung mga klase naman ng mga discrimination na na-experience you in the workplace, if any? Or ano yung mga common na na-observe ninyo? But I hope na wala ha. I hope wala kayong na-experience. Ayan, thank you kay Cecil, kay Mona Lisa, kay Maria Geraldine for the reactions sa ating mga thumbs up reactions. Okay, sige, let's see ha. Basahin muna natin. Ano yung mga common na discrimination na na-experience natin? Public humiliation. Oh, paano yun? Can you please elaborate on that? Paano ka hinumiliate? Anong ginawa sa'yo? Pinasayaw ka ba nung Christmas party? Or iniinsulto ka sa harap ng mga maraming tao? No face value will not be hired. Oh, grabe naman yan, ano? Dahil ba doon sa sinasabi, pagka, di ba, may mga job ads with pleasing personality. Is it because of that? Good evening, Joy, Kenneth. Public humiliation sa maraming tao din. Grabe, ah. I hope na hindi kayo nagkakaroon ng mental stress, ano, because of that. Kasi our mental health is also protected, ha, by law. Okay. So, mostly public humiliations. Tignan natin. Okay. So, let's see. So, what are the common um, discrimination in the workplace? So, the Labor Code of the Philippines tells us that these are the common discrimination in the workplace. Okay, discrimination against gender. O, gender, di ba? Yung sabi kanina ni Sir, yung host natin, Sir Bernie, na yung mga LGBTQ plus, di ba? Nade-discriminate sila sa workplace because of their gender. Bawal ho yun. Later, we will discuss further. Yung age nyo din, di ba? Sometimes may mga job ads na nagre-require ng age. Halimbawa, not more than 45 years old. That is age discrimination. Or when it comes to promotion, di ba? Hindi, mas gusto namin yung mga lalaki na leaders, yung mga sila, yung mga high-ranking positions kasi yung mga babae, pabago-bago ang isip, no? Or sa promotion, yung promote natin yung mga mas matatanda kasi matagal na sila sa serbisyo. Although common yun in practice, ano, because of their experience nga naman. Marital and pregnancy status, okay? Because they are married. Ayaw nyo silang i-hire. Ba? Because our solo parents, ayaw nyo din silang i-hire. Or their disability or mental health conditions. Or because of their ethnicity. Ay, wag tayo mag-hire ng Cordilleran kasi shy sila. Something ganyan. Or because they have a disease like HIV, TB, or cancer, you don't want to hire them. And also because they are a member of a union. So, bawal din po yun na ilalagay mo din, hindi ako mag-hire ng union member kasi yung mga may union, mahilig silang magprotesta. Yeah, yung mga notion natin, ganyan. But no, unions will only protest if their employment rights are being violated. Di naman sila nagpo-protesta na walang rason eh. Diba? And the the purpose of having a union is very legitimate kasi nga they want to protect their employment from any forms of harassment from the employer. Okay? So, but in one case, dito pala, no, na I remember, sa marital status, can there be instances where a married individual will not be hired by an employer? So in one case decided by the Supreme Court, ano, na this involves a married woman. Ito kasing married woman na ito, meron siyang asawa sa isang pharmaceutical company. And yung asawa niya, nagtatrabaho din siya sa isang pharmaceutical company. 'Di ba? Pag magtatrabaho siya sa isang pharmaceutical company din na kakompetensya na, for example, ni pharmaceutical A, tapos yung kung naman nagtatrabaho sa pharmaceutical B, there are trade secrets being protected by the companies na pwedeng ma-share when the employees are married, 'di ba? Pwedeng halimbawa chemist sila pareho. Their task is to develop medicines for certain diseases. There will be instances na pagka magkasama ang mga, they will be sharing about anong ginagawa ng company mo, tapos anong ginagawa din ng company mo, pwedeng magaya yun. So there are instances when the Supreme Court said yes, the 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 ground is valid. So pwede nilang i-prohibit 'yon. Halimbawa, yung mga married couples na employed in two competing companies. Okay? Ayan. So number one is gender discrimination. Yung sinabi nga natin kanina, 'di ba? Women should not be discriminated in terms of labor just because they are women. Or kasi baka misogynistic yung yung employer, no, kaya ayaw niya ng women, but they should not be discriminated by reason of their gender. So in terms of promotion, hiring, leadership roles, hindi sila dapat na discriminate because that is prohibited by the Magna Carta for women. Ano pa? Okay, so prohibition on discrimination against women, specifically this law focuses on women's right to fair employment, di ba? Yung sabi natin kanina, hindi dapat dahil babae siya, hindi niya kaya ang leadership role, hindi niya kayang i-manage ang isang business.
Anong dinner ko ya?
Okay?
Ha?
And also, yan. So, to protect also the rights of women, meron tayo yung expanded maternity leave, di ba? Dati, 60 days lang. Ngayon, 105 days na. Pag solo parent ka, may plus 15 days ka pa. And this is with leave. And kung gusto mo ng additional maternity leave, pwede pa plus 30 days, pero wala ka ng pay. So, yung paid lang is yung 105. And in case of solo parents, 120 days paid maternity leave. Okay? Anti-Sexual Harassment Act is also gender discrimination law. It is against gender discrimination, you know. So this protects women from sexual harassment in the workplace and other places like schools and training facilities. Okay, so they are protected from mga perpetrators or employers or trainers or professors who want to take advantage of them and ask sexual favors in exchange of employment or any kind of benefit for that matter. Okay? Okay, ito yung case ni host Bernie, yung discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. Bawal din yan. Kasi nakita mo, ay, LGBTQ, hindi ko i-hire yan. Bawal din po yan. Also, age discrimination, as we mentioned earlier, di ba? Bawal yun. Yung sa ad mo nilalagay mo, preferably ganitong age. Below 25 or above 25 years old. Di ba? Kasi hindi pwede yun. Or yun nga, in terms of promotion or opportunities, nagdi-discriminate ka based on the ages of your employees, that is also prohibited by law. Okay? So we have this Age Discrimination Act, which took effect in 2017. So it prohibits age-based discrimination among workers regardless of their employment status. So if there's a promotion opportunity, mapabata ka man or matanda ka na, as long as you are qualified, you can apply. Okay, so under the Age Discrimination Act, ano yung mga bawal na dapat i-observe ng mga employers na hindi nila ma-violate? Hiring on the basis of age. So this includes age preference and limitations, unfair treatment of employees of certain age in terms of pay, di ba? Mas bata ka kasi mas mababa muna yung sweldo mo kasi bata ka pa. Pwede ba yon? Hindi pwede because our wage is prescribed by law and our company policies, not by our age. Okay. And also discrimination against persons with disability. Yung mga may mental health conditions, yung mga PWDs, di ba? They should not be discriminated. But of course, if yung job really requires na i-perform ng isang tao without any incapacity, hindi naman natin masisisi yung employer, di ba? Okay, so we also have the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, ensuring that PWDs have the same employment opportunities as others. So, there. Okay. Sige, all eyes on the screen. Nakatingin ba kayo sa screen natin? May question dyan sa taas. What's wrong with this job ad? So, let's test if nakikinig kayo sa ating discussion. What's wrong with this job ad? Okay, so if you're a brave soul, please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic and tell us what's wrong with this job ad. Or kung ayaw nyo mag-unmute, pwede naman, let's use the chat box. Ayun, may nagsabi, preferably male. Age and gender. Sabi ni Mary Jane, the age and the gender. Ayan, pati nakikinig talaga sila. Oh, age, discrimination, age and gender. Yes, sabi ni Judy, age. Okay, gender and age, yes. Okay, nakikinig sila, diba? Sa mga offices nyo ba, nilalagay nyo yung age and gender preferences? If you are hiring, no. Sabi ni Ma'am Cecil, no po. You know, this is very ironic kasi this job ad is posted by a well-known cooperative. Okay? Nakita ko lang to kasi dumaan sa aking um, feeds sa Facebook. Sabi ko, ha, di ba yung ang mga co-ops, they have committees on gender and development, ganyan. So nagtataka din ako, bakit kaya nilagay nila ito? And this is posted in Facebook. So ang dami-daming nakakakita. Di ba? Okay, so tama po yung mga nagsagot na yung mali ay yung preferably male and at least 25 years of age. Because by putting that, you already discriminated yung mga 24 years old and below and yung mga females, di ba? But sometimes, siguro, just to avoid the hassle of hiring and para hindi na rin siguro maabala yung mga 24 years old and below and yung mga females, hindi sila mag-suspend ng resources, 'di ba? Hindi na sila mag-e-effort to file, nilalagay yan. But actually that is bawal. If you really prefer male and 25 years of age and above, that will be an internal qualification already that you do not need to post elsewhere, especially dun sa mga public places. 'Di ba? Kasi I believe, may mga HR ba dito? Kasi I was informed na meron tayong mga HR eh. 'Di ba? May mga internal qualifications din tayo na hindi natin pinopost. Wala tayong mga HR. Uh, Yan, yes, we have HR here po. Can we hear? Ako po, sige, Ma'am Cecil. Ma'am Cecil, am I right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Kayo po yung in charge sa posting ng inyong vacancies. Tama po ba? Yes po. Kapag gumagawa po kayo ng job ad for vacancy, naglalagay po kayo ng age and gender preferences? Ma'am Cecil? No, sabi niya. Very good. So you are very compliant sa ating mga labor laws. Ang galing, no? Sa ano daw si Ma'am Cecil sa Easy Eats. Ano po ito? Restaurant po ito? Or you're producing a product, consumable products? Ayan. Okay. So yan, no? So let's avoid any discriminatory um, job ads. Okay, so I think we are already in our last slide. So ano ngayon? Ano ngayon ang gagawin natin? Knowing that these are the different forms of discrimination, ano naman yung gagawin natin on our end to prevent discrimination in the workplace? Number one, educate and train all your workers about what constitutes discrimination. Kasi baka nga naman hindi nila alam yon, di ba? Hindi nila alam. They are not aware of it because they lack the training. So it is very important to incorporate trainings on anti-discrimination laws or what are the discriminations common in the workplace. Okay, we need to educate them and train them how to prevent these kinds of discrimination. Kasi baka para sa kanila, ano lang yun, it's a trivial thing, simpleng bagay lang. Pero hindi pala, may nababiolate silang labor laws. Next, train higher ups like supervisors and managers on how to properly respond to discrimination in the workplace. O kailangan i-train not only the employees but also the employers or yung ating mga managers or supervisors. Paano ba sila dapat mag-respond if there is a report on discrimination? Ignore ba nila yon? Di ba? Anong dapat gawin nila? Or they will go back to the company policy kung how to handle and what is the procedure to be observed in dealing with discrimination. Develop a strict workplace policy that does not allow discrimination. Again, it will always boil down to the company policy. Ano yung internal rules natin kung mayroong case ng discrimination? We will always go back to that. And ano yung sanction ng violator? Make sure the workplace policy is properly laid out and enforced. So, hindi lang siya decoration or hindi lang siya for purposes of compliance sa labor, Department of Labor. Hindi siya ganon. Dapat na-enforce din siya and na-i-implement properly. And you need to review your company policies regularly. You need to assess them. Is it effective? Effective ba yung company policy natin in addressing discrimination? Okay, you need to assess it. If not, you need to revise or amend it on a regular basis. So, yan yung ating mga strategies or ways for us to prevent discrimination in the workplace. So, I think that is our last slide already. Yan. So, yan yung ating mga references. Of course, we have the Labor Code of the Philippines. If you want to read about labor laws or cases in labor, ito maganda yung site na to eh. Philippine Labor Law Resource and Learning Site. Diyan ako maraming nakuhang mga